What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Wednesday, January 2nd. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay, who do we have at the point guard position? I like Dennis Schroeder from the Oklahoma City Thunder playing the LA Lakers, who have the 9th worst defense overall, and they give up the 13th most fantasy points to opposing point guards. Dennis Schroeder has scored 12, 33, and 38 fantasy points in his last 3 games, averaging 29.2 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 30 minutes per game with a 26% usage rate. Dennis Schroeder is only $5,400 DraftKings salary, projected at 33.6 fantasy points here tonight. That's over 6 times value. There's an implied total of 229.5 points in this game. Schroeder gets near 30 minutes every game. He has 30-40 point upside. He's just too cheap still at only $5,400. Oh, and he's only $5,100 on FanDuel, so I love that FanDuel price. Only really needs about 26 fantasy points to get 5 times value. He had a bum game last game. Throw that game out. Dennis Schroeder's a great play here versus a weak Lakers defense. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. And then you can see the top point production, who scored the most fantasy points in the last 3 games, minute monsters, see who played the most minutes in the last 3 games, and the recent performance, so you can see who's overperforming and maybe due to crash, and you can see who's underperforming and maybe due to smash. Okay, let's see who we have at the shooting guard position. I like Bradley Beal from the Washington Wizards playing the Atlanta Hawks, who are the absolute worst defense overall, and they give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing shooting guards. Bradley Beal has scored 43, 55, and 35 fantasy points in his last 3 games, averaging 41 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 37 minutes per game with a 27% usage rate. Bradley Beal is $8,600 DraftKings salary. He's $1,200 more on FanDuel, so I love that DraftKings price. Projected at 54.4 fantasy points here tonight. That's well over 5 times value. John Wall is out for the season, so Bradley Beal is going to be asked to shoulder the load. He scored 43 and 55 fantasy points in the first 2 games that John Wall was out. Now he's got a fantastic matchup versus a terrible Atlanta Hawks defense. I love Bradley Beal here versus the Atlanta Hawks. Okay, let's see who we have at the small forward position. I like Nicolas Batum from the Charlotte Hornets playing the Dallas Mavericks, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they're also middle-of-the-pack defending opposing small forwards. Nicolas Batum has scored 18, 26, and 26 fantasy points in his last 3 games, averaging 22.7 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 31 minutes per game with a 13% usage rate. Nicolas Batum is $4,600 DraftKings salary. He's $100 less on FanDuel, so I love that FanDuel price. Projected at 27.1 fantasy points here tonight. That's almost 6 times value. There's an implied total of 222.5 points in this game. It's a fast-paced game, home game for Nick Batum, who should get more usage because of the injury to Jeremy Lamb. I love Nicolas Batum here versus the Dallas Mavericks. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's see who we have at the power forward position. I'm going to give you another value play here. I like Temari Carol from the Brooklyn Nets, who have the 5th worst defense overall, and they give up the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing power forwards. Temari Carol has scored 32, 31, and 21 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 18.2 fantasy points per game on the season and an average of 24 minutes per game with a 19% usage rate. He played 35 and 30 minutes the last 2 games, so that's an encouraging sign. Temari Carol is only $4,000 DraftKings salary. He's $1,100 more on FanDuel, so I love that DraftKings price. Projected at 23.5 fantasy points here tonight, that's almost 6 times value. This is a home game and a fast-paced game. Fantastic matchup for Temari Carol here versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Okay, moving on to the center position. I like Anthony Davis from the New Orleans Pelicans playing the Brooklyn Nets, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they're also middle-of-the-pack defending opposing centers. Anthony Davis has scored 0, 47, and 84 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 60.7 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 37 minutes per game with a 29% usage rate. So Anthony Davis burnt a lot of people on New Year's. I had Anthony Davis, James Harden, Karl Anthony Towns, Paul George. I had 318 FanDuel points with a 0 from Anthony Davis. It could have been a huge night for me. But hey, that's DFS. You got to forget about that stuff. I think Anthony Davis's ownership may be a little low here because not many people are going to be over that. Anthony Davis is $11,800 DraftKings salary. He's $900 more on FanDuel, projected at 56.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's almost 5 times value. You're going to need about 60 fantasy points here to get 5 times value. There's an implied total of 230.5 points in this game. He should be rested. He should get a full run here. I love Anthony Davis versus the Brooklyn Nets. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.